Everybody, I'm on the line right now with Chris Bay, who is the new X Division champion. How are you doing today, Chris?
Feeling like a champion. I'm feeling all the perks of being a champion right now, I guess. I'm feeling excellent. I'm feeling on top of the world, but there's a lot more work to do.
Rightfully so. You won the title at Slammiversary. You beat Willie Mack, and you retained it this week on Impact Wrestling. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the Slammiversary match, because going in, I spoke with him a few months ago, or maybe a few weeks ago, and he compared you to a fidget spinner, saying that, maybe you were a fad and you're the hot thing in the X Division, but he was going to be the constant. So what do you have to say about that now that you beat him twice and proved that you're not a fad?
Well, I saw that article, and I debated on what I wanted to say about him calling me or comparing me to a fidget spinner. But then I decided that I wanted to let my actions speak louder than words, because, maybe I am a new fad, right? Maybe I am the new toy. Maybe I am the new that new trend right now. But the thing about trending is that it could end up being something that lasts the test of time, and I always feel like I last the test of time. So yeah, I'm the new trend. Yeah, I'm the new kid on the block. Yeah, I'm of the time right now, but I'm also of the time next year and the year after that. This is the beginning of the Chris Bay era in professional wrestling. I said it before that I was so proud of Willie Mack for winning the X Division champion and being an X Division champion and making it to that pinnacle. But the unfortunate part was that he happened to do it right at my time. So I had to just get cut short. And now that Slammiversary is over and the proof and the championship is sitting with me, I never lied. And we will see how long Chris Bay runs the game of professional wrestling, because I don't think I'm going to be a trend that just lasts 5 days. I think I'm going to be a trend that lasts forever.
One other thing that really got people's attention, and I made note of it on social media, was Willie was wearing some Razor Ramon inspired gear, but you also had some Attitude Era nods, like the right knee pad, and your gear looked like Shawn Michaels with the, instead of the hearts, it was the little emoji. But was that something that was done intentional? Like, did you know ahead of time about what he was planning?
Not at all, which is the best part about it. I had my Shawn Michaels inspired pants made a couple months back, and I had just been sitting on them for Slammiversary. If you look back at all my hype up tweets or anything that I've been posting over the last couple months, I kept throwing that emoji on things, just kind of teasing it, and I wanted to have like some Shawn Michaels inspired, but still very Chris Bay themed gear. And when Willie put his gear on and I saw what he had on, I just thought to myself, well, this just had to happen, right? This only makes perfect sense that he chooses this Razor Ramon themed gear as I have on this Shawn Michaels-esque themed gear. And here we are at Slammiversary, and that's a big, SummerSlam Classic or whatever. So I just thought like that was a real cool trinket, but it was completely unplanned. But I think that's why it makes it that much more special for real.
Yeah, I definitely think now that you explain it, that unplanned thing that happened made it all the more special. But do you have any other influences from that era or a past era of wrestling where maybe you're going to have that influence your ring gear or maybe your wrestling style?
I'm a huge Eddie Guerrero guy, honestly. Huge Eddie Guerrero fan. So there may be a time where there's a few Eddie Guerrero themed gears that come through, but as far as my gear selection from now on out, it's going to be a lot of original stuff that just hasn't been done before in pro wrestling. I've been really getting in touch with my creative spirits and thinking outside the box lately, and I feel more inspired than ever. But I've been designing some really cool outfits, so I hope that once we start putting those on TV and on pay-per-views, people will see like that I'm just doing something completely new and unique. As far as my in-ring influences, I've actually been watching a lot of believe it or not, some throwback AJ Styles from Impact. I had this DVD that Impact dropped a couple of years ago. I actually purchased it before I moved out to Vegas to become a wrestler. So I've been watching that and just seeing some early X Division stuff. But I really want to make my in-ring stuff as unique as possible and as just close to the individual of Chris Bay as I can, so that people can look at Chris Bay's style and want to copy Chris Bay's style and be influenced by Chris Bay's style. Even though we all have influences of other things, I have a million influences in wrestling that I love to watch growing up, but I've really been trying to create my own lately.
Now, I usually close with this, but I do a watch list feature about match recommendations, whether it's from your career or the past, and I think this is a better time to bring it up because you said you're going back into TNA history. So, are there any matches that specifically from that era that you would recommend people check out, or maybe some of your work prior to Impact Wrestling?
Well, from that era, if people haven't seen it, one of the greatest triple threat matches of all time, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and Christopher Daniels. If you haven't seen that match, and then also there's another triple threat that I really like, which was Chris Sabin, P.D. Williams, and AJ Styles. It's pretty rad. As far as some model matches, if you go on IWTV, there's a match I had with Hammerstone from MLW. I had a match with Hammerstone and Without a Cause a couple months back, and I dubbed it as my favorite match of 2019. It's an amazing match. Hammerstone's a great performer. He had just got back from Japan, so he was just like hitting that next level, and I had just finished up a pretty seismic loop in the States, so we both were just on our best, and I think that match stands out as one of my best matches personally. And then I've had so many cool matches at this point, man. Like, I had a cool match a couple of years ago that people still like. That's on YouTube of myself versus Shane Strickland, which is Isaiah Swerve Scott and WWE. So I got some cool stuff online. Me and Jake Atlas, me and Karrion Kross. So if you just search me up on YouTube, you'll find a lot of links to that stuff. But if you want one specifically, I'll give you that Hammerstone match. Chris Bay versus Hammerstone in 2019 at Without a Cause.
Yeah, I definitely think it's interesting how we're finding new content that, it's new to an individual, but like there's so many regions of wrestling where the California and Las Vegas scene, like especially with future stars of wrestling and championship wrestling from Hollywood, might not be that familiar, especially me as an East Coast fan. But there's so many talented people, and I think most people jump to PWG right away, but there's a lot of talent and a lot of great content that you can still access.
100%. A lot of those guys who, like you said, people jump to PWG first. Well, PWG, as great as it is, it's also a lot of outside talent that also is getting brought in. But if you just check out any regular California a million guys who are hungry and coming from credible schools who can wrestle their ass off, perform, with the best of them, and they're just salivating for that opportunity just as well. So definitely check out some indie shows in California, and you'll get way more hidden gems than you expect.
Your signing was announced earlier this year, and you've really maintained your hype and reputation since coming in, like ever since the Cody Rhodes stuff started until now. You cap it off with a title win. How do you maintain that level of performance and really show people that in a world of wrestling where there's ebb and flow and flavor of the week, as much as everything changes with social media, you've really been a constant on Impact Wrestling? How do you explain it? How do you try to maintain it yourself?
Well, I think it always comes down to a lot of different people's motivation as well, So for me, it's a lot of hype that was built behind me, and a lot of some people call it pressure. And when people started referring to it as pressure, to me, I turned it into the phrase pressure player, and I started referring to myself as a pressure player, saying that I love to play when the pressure's on, and that's when I do my best work, when everybody's watching. So I feel like I always just got to get better, and a lot of people just they forget that it's a constant growth thing, because there's that old phrase, you're only as good as your last match. So what I never wanted to do was have someone talk me up and say, oh my God, Chris Bay is a really good performer, you should watch him wrestle. And then someone watches me wrestle on my off day, and they're like, well, I don't see what you saw, and then he's not that good, because they're never going to tune back in, or they're going to keep that reserved judgment, for a while, unless they're one of those more forgiving people who give me another opportunity and say, oh, well, he did better this time. But as far as, a general population goes, I know how quick people's attention spans are and how quick and easily people are turned off. So whenever I'm on TV, I try to give it my best. I try to give it my best performance every single time I'm in the ring, because I want someone I'm paying to see or taking my time to see to be doing it the same. I don't ever want to tune into anyone and feel like they're putting in half the performance for anything, because that's just not authentic. I really care about this. I really care about growing myself inside the business, outside the business, my following on social media, my merchandising, my branding, my music, my physique in the gym, my hair, everything that has to do with my look or my image. I'm always focusing on growing and evolving. So that's inside the ring, outside the ring, just as a human being. I just want to be better. So as long as I'm striving for better, I feel like I'll always be producing a better quality of content for the viewers.
Another name that comes up is Johnny Swinger. You're working with him. He's really become a five-tool player. Initially criticized when Impact signed him, but he's really done so much to add to the show this year in different ways, and he's become a highlight. Between working with you, Willie Mack, he's been on Madison Rain's show. What does it mean to work with a guy that not only has experience in the business, but maybe adds something to your work that you didn't really expect initially?
It's cool, man. I loved working with Swinger. Swinger taught me a lot inadvertently, just about being more comfortable on camera. Doing those segments with him and just seeing his ability and moving off his energy definitely helped me understand more so how to express the Chris Bay persona and character more. And I'm really grateful that I got to do that program with him, because it helped me hit that next year, that next level. It also gave me something cool television-wise to jump into storyline where fans can now see me outside of the ring and see me get to put together these emotional responses or emotional pieces that are going to get emotional responses from people when they see it, whether they're going to feel irritated by me or irritated by Swinger or angry or mad or sad, whatever. Just giving people more layers of Chris Bay to dive into. So I really enjoyed working with Swinger, and I do it again in a heartbeat. It was cool. It was real fun, and I learned a lot through it.
You've only been with Impact Wrestling for a few months, and we're already seeing new talent, returning stars. Slammiversary was built around Impact Wrestling's world changing forever, and we saw many of those names come back. So what's the morale between seeing all these names come back? Like, are there anyone you want to immediately work with, or is there anybody that you gravitated to maybe get a different perspective or new advice from?
I thought it was really cool to have. I'm all about bringing in talent, new talent to our company, because it gives me another chance to learn more information, and I'm all about learning. And it also gives our company that chance to get more viewership and capitalize off of what we already have, which is a stacked roster who puts their all into all of our shows and whatnot. So to have all the new guys, and I'm thrilled about it, and I look forward to working with all of them. I would look forward to working alongside the Motor City Machine Guns, having those guys back. Let's talk about 10 years ago, me being on YouTube unboxing TNA replica belts. I was wearing the Motor City Machine Gun dog tags to school, 8th grade, and watching those guys. So to have those guys be back and be new tag team champions and while I'm the X Division champion is crazy. It's surreal. So of course I want to, hang tight next to Chris Sabin and pick his brain or learn something from him, or have a guy like EC3 who just, as you saw in the last episode, came back and attacked Moose. Like when I first heard of EC3, he was just about to become world champion, and I tuned in and watched him become the world champion over here. And then I watched his promo after, and I just saw him pour his heart into his words and really feel what he was saying. So, provided the chance, it's nice to, get to chat with him and to see where he is at, because he's done where I want to be, and that's that world championship. So, and then, the Good Brothers as well, having the Good Brothers around, because those guys have been all over and done it, and I've met those guys in passing before doing the WWE stuff, but it's nice to actually be able to have those guys around and sit down and really learn some stuff, because I'm so young, man. Those guys have so much experience on me. Like, it's just knowledge, endless knowledge all throughout the locker room, from Tommy and D'Lo and so on and so forth, and down to these new guys who are just coming in who still have that experience and whatnot. So it's cool, man. I'm trying to slowly navigate my way over each and every one of them so I can learn a thing or two.
I'm glad you brought up the machine guns, and I know you posted the unboxing videos, but they just became tag team champions. But do you see yourself maybe on the opposite side of the ring against one of them in the X division? I mean, you talk about them in the tag team division, but you can say just as much as their work as X division champion, respectively.
Oh, 100%. I hope one of them chooses to turn up and come my way, because I've stated that everyone should just forget what they think they know about the X division and who held the title before me, because now I am the first Finesse division champion. So that's a title right there that Chris Sabin has not held. He has not held the Finesse division championship. He may be a former X division champion. So, I mean, if he's looking to rewrite history and he's looking to prove that he can do it all, he truly can do it all, I would love for him to come get Nuck and get Buck and come at Chris Bay, come knocking at my door, because I'll answer and I'll welcome him in for cookies and Finesse.
All right. Maybe we will see that in an upcoming episode of Impact Wrestling, but for now we can watch you enjoy your reign as the Finesse Division Champion. We can see you every week. Impact on Access. Chris Bay, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.